Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the public meeting of the Mayor and Council. At this time, I would ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent prayer and reflection as we think about the terrorist attack in Australia, the shooting at Brown University, and the men and women of law enforcement who protect our communities every day. Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before we start, please note the fire exits behind you into the main parking lot, and to my left, your right, into the main hallway. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of New Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall. Notices have been sent to the Record and the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard the infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning seek to minimize risk while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers, but realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. At this time, I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilman Sam Houston. Here. Councilman Fowler.
Here.
Council President Duffy. Here. Councilman Grotsky.
Here.
Councilman Seymour.
Here.
Councilwoman Grant. Mayor Petrino.
Here. All right, tonight is one of our special nights with the Milford Police Department, so I'm going to ask Chief Clancy to come to the podium and walk us through it.
All right, thank you. So tonight, thanks for letting us take some time out of the meeting. We're going to swear in our newest officer, and we're going to issue some departmental awards. We usually do it at the end of the year. Like this is the last mayor and council meeting of the year. So tonight, New Milford Police Department's newest officer, Brian Johnson, is a 2019 New Milford High School graduate who went on to Sallie Regina University in Rhode Island, where he played football, too. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in 2023. In 2024, NMPD hired Brian as a SLEO 1 officer, Special Law Enforcement Officer Class 1. They're unarmed, and they help us at all kinds of events. And they're really, it's been a great program ever since we started it. He did a great job at that and proved that he was really capable of being a full-time officer. In April, Brian was hired as a full-time officer and attended the Passaic County Police Academy. He graduated on October 21st and has been on field training ever since then. He will be released from training very soon, and I welcome Officer Johnson and his family up to the dais to be sworn in. I'm just going to hold the Bible. Put some on both sides here, so coordinate that. You should have your mom on one side and you on the other side, yeah.
I state your name.
I, Brian Johnson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the rules and regulations of the New Milford Police Department,
and the rules and regulations of the Milford Police Department,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to Yes, sir.
and to the governments established in the United States
And to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people,
And I do solemnly swear
and I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties of office
all of the duties of office
of police officer
of police officer
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
I don't know if everyone knows this, Officer Johnson just got engaged to his girlfriend who's winning. We need to
You're all set. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congrats. So congrats to Officer Johnson, who's already doing a good job, and you'll see that as we go through tonight. But we want to get through these awards. We tried to briefly describe what happened, which is very hard to do. So I only have one page here on something that could have been 10 pages. But our first award tonight is a stabbing that happened in Milford and how we responded to it. On March 17th, 2025, NMPD received numerous 911 calls about a violent dispute in front of New Milford High School. Officers responded and determined that a juvenile had been assaulted and stabbed. The perpetrators had fled the scene moments before NMPD arrived. Captain Van Saders was the incident commander that day. It was St. Patrick's Day, so I was off. And did an excellent job allocating resources, directing all personnel where they needed to go, requesting assistance from surrounding police departments, and keeping the chaotic scene under control. This was an all-hands-on-deck type of situation, as you can imagine, and through investigation and teamwork of the officers on scene and the detectives who responded, they were able to take two of the involved parties into custody that afternoon. One who had entered the high school to avoid detection, and another who was quickly walking away from the scene. The victim, who was picked up on River Road by a passerby who was trying to help, flagged down responding officers when they realized that this victim had 7 stab wounds, was bleeding significantly, and needed immediate assistance. The NMPD Detective Bureau worked with their partners in the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office for weeks, and ultimately 5 adults and 1 juvenile were charged with attempted murder, aggravated assault, possession of weapons, hindering apprehension, among other charges. Usually, I would say in detail exactly what everyone did, but in this case, there are so many, we'd be here until 11 o'clock. But know that every officer I'm about to call up played a significant role in this case. So I'm going to read them all. Nick is going to hand out the medals. So we can applaud at the end. Lieutenant Perez, Lieutenant Haggerty, Sergeant Matisich, Sergeant Gerace, Detective Lignos, this was his first case in the Detective Bureau, so great job. Detective Pumpisi, Officer Agnello, Officer Rugani, Officer Castaneda, Officer Francine, Officer Rikowicz, who was inside on the desk, but that was probably one of the more chaotic spots. Sleo Mitchell and Sleo Johnson at the time. So great job, come out and receive the and Captain Van Saders. Forgot. Great job. There were 3 other awards for that one from other towns, and I'm going to give them to their chiefs to give to 2 Ordell officers and 1 Dumont sergeant. Next, on July 21st, NMPD was notified through law enforcement sources that a vehicle wanted in a shooting out of New York City was hitting on license plate readers in the New Milford vicinity. Officers Duran and Kibbleham were working a day tour that day and were familiar with the wanted vehicle through previous encounters. Officer Duran saw the vehicle in transit at 12:30 p.m. that afternoon and pulled the vehicle over. Officer Duran was backed up by Officer Kimballhand, and they safely took a male and female into custody from the vehicle. Detective Campisi and Sergeant Matisich also responded to the scene to assist and notified the detectives of the 3-2 precinct in the NYPD, who responded to New Milford, which is rare, so we knew this was a real one, and interviewed both suspects. Both were charged for the shooting and remanded to the Bergen County Jail and eventually extradited to NYPD. A search warrant of the arrested male's apartment in New Milford revealed items that confirmed both parties were involved in this shooting. It was the clothing that they were wearing and some other items that they had in the surveillance videos. Excellent police work by the following officers: Officer Duran, Officer Kimballhand, Sergeant Matisich, and Detective Campisi. Please come up.
Take over for two of the awards here. So first one up is the NMPD would like to recognize the 3 officers responding to a check on the welfare call on September 25th, 2025 that turned into a homicide scene. At 2:58 a.m., Sergeant O'Brien, P.O. Sherman, and P.O. Francine responded to 650 River Road on a report of an irrational caller who was stating that someone would not let him leave the residence. The caller met the officer in front of the residence and in an eerie manner made statements that he had hurt someone inside the apartment. 3 officers took quick action to detain the caller and followed correct procedures with holding him. Upon checking the residence, officers located a deceased body as well as an aggressive dog. Again, officers took quick action to tend to the deceased, secure the animal, and preserve the crime scene. The officers' initial response and containment of the scene led to the arrest and charges of the caller for homicide against the victim, along with the assistance of the New Milford PD Detective Bureau and the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. These initial responding officers handled a very chaotic scene with the utmost professionalism and investigative skills. The Milford Police would like to present Sergeant Mark O'Brien, Officer Shane Sherman, and Officer John Francine with Meritorious Service Awards.
We have the ability to watch body cams now after the fact, and that scene was pretty hard to look at. But something that stood out was the aggressive dog that was literally biting our officers as they were trying to keep things under control. So that was really a tough one for those guys, and luckily nobody got really hurt on our end. So congrats, guys. On October 8th at 9:50 a.m., Sergeant Mark O'Brien was on patrol when he came across a vehicle that had just crashed into a tree at the corner of Newbridge Road and Birchwood Road. The vehicle had serious damage and smoke coming from the engine compartment. Sergeant O'Brien found the driver of the vehicle slumped over and barely conscious. Luckily, the door was still functionable, and Sergeant O'Brien was able to open the door and make contact. The driver was a little reluctant of the assistance being offered by Sergeant O'Brien, but he was able to remove the driver just before the entire vehicle was engulfed in flames. The driver was transported to Hackensack University Medical Center, where luckily he only sustained minor injuries, but he was charged with driving while intoxicated. Sergeant O'Brien was in the right place at the right time and was able to remove the driver from an extremely dangerous situation, possibly saving his life. Congratulations to Mark O'Brien.
The last award for tonight, we'd like to recognize Officer Turman and Officer Johnson for a large-scale narcotics and courtesy seizure that occurred on November 11th, 2025. On this evening, both officers were assigned to the same vehicle as part of the field training program for Officer Johnson. Shortly into their shift, they conducted a motor vehicle stop on a vehicle that had numerous equipment violations. While on the traffic stop, officers observed large amounts of THC oil products in the vehicle, which was beyond the threshold allowed by law. Both officers continued their investigation and were able to recover an additional amount of cannabinoid products, 8 ounces of raw marijuana, a digital scale, and $46,000 in currency. The driver of the vehicle was ultimately arrested and charged with distribution of narcotics and money laundering. She was then sent to the Bergen County Jail. These officers went above and beyond their daily duties to proactively arrest somebody involved in criminal activity. In the Milford Police Department, I'd like to present Officer Shane Sherman and Officer Brian Johnson with the meritorious service.
So those are 5 events that kind of went above and beyond, whether we were called there or it was self-initiated. But, our cops do great things every day, all year long. So some of them don't meet the criteria to talk about here, but I know that they're doing a great job, and I think everyone should know that. So thank you, and I think that's it. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
We want to thank Chief Clancy, his captains, command staff, and men and women of our police department. They're the reason why we're one of the safest towns in Bergen County in the state of New Jersey. And, I think I speak for everyone here, this is one of our favorite nights. The only thing better is when we're giving certificates to, your football and our scouts. So the Johnson family knows all about that. They're here for all of them. So they've got every certificate we've ever handed out, they have somewhere. So, once again, we just want to thank you for everything you do. We look forward to a great year, and we wish everyone happy holidays. So thank you. Thank you. We'll give you 2 minutes to exit, otherwise you have to stay for the remainder of the meeting.
Do whatever you want.
My daughter loves your drinks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thanks again. Appreciate it. Thank you. You guys need more of this? No.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Guys, what do you say? Thanks so much. Oh, you share.
You look a little warmer than last night.
She did good. You better say thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you, you guys. Thank you.
The rest of these are going to the senior center. There you go. All right, next on the agenda is a proclamation for World Meditation Day. This was suggested to me by one of our residents. Office of the Mayor Proclamation. Whereas mental health and inner peace are essential foundations for a thriving, resilient, and compassionate community. And whereas the United Nations General Assembly has officially designated December 21st as World Meditation Day, recognizing the transformative power of meditation to reduce stress, improve health, and foster global harmony. And whereas for over 4 decades, Gurudev, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, and the Art of Living Foundation have served millions across 180 countries through humanitarian initiatives promoting stress-free living. Whereas on Sunday, December 21st, 2025, millions will participate in the global movement of stillness, synchronized with a live meditation led by Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar at 10 a.m. Eastern. And whereas this initiative invites all citizens of New Milford, regardless of background or belief, to pause, breathe, and connect, creating harmony between communities, thereby strengthening the bonds of our local community and creating a ripple effect of peace across the globe. And whereas the Borough of New Milford is proud to be a stigma-free community and supports the holistic well-being of its residents through raising awareness, education, and promoting inclusive events, including the Mayor's Wellness Campaign and public and private partnerships that bring residents together in a spirit of unity and mindfulness. Now, therefore, I, Michael J. Vitrino, Mayor of the Borough of New Milford of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim December 21st, 2025 as World Meditation Day in New Milford, and I invite all residents to join in this global observance of peace and connection. They are going to pick this up this week. Okay, so. Okay. May I get a motion to appoint Betsy Varon to Planning Board Class 4, Lorraine McMacken, Planning Board Class 4, Gerard Smithson, Planning Board Alternate 1. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. May I get a motion to appoint Daniel Azarone to New Milford Fire Department Company 2, and Israel Echevarria to New Milford Company Fire Department Company 2.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for volunteering your service to the Borough of New Milford. I really appreciate it. Under unfinished business, may I get approval of the minutes from the November 10th, 2025 work and closed session meetings?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So that's the gathering spot. Okay, moving on to new business. Item number 1 is NJDOT fiscal year 26 roadway improvements administrator.
So, at the time that I listed these on the agenda, I thought I would be briefing everybody individually, but as it turns out, we had a meeting of our finance committee earlier today, and we talked about both of these projects, and I can share information on them together. So we've received grants for 2 road projects. The first, a CDBG grant for Clinton Avenue, Huguenot Drive, Arlington Road, and Yale Street. The total estimated cost for engineering and construction is approximately $256,000, and the grant is $135,000, which leaves us a balance of $121,000. We had asked for $160 for the grant, and we got $135. The second is a DOT grant for East Woodland, Lumen, Grieve, Ridge, and Pleasant, with a total estimated cost for engineering and construction of $447,000 or $448,000. We had asked for a grant for $384,000. Fortunately, we did get a grant, but it was only for $151,000, which leaves us a balance of $296,600. In discussing the projects with Vince, neither of them can easily be scaled to reduce the cost. So we're recommending that we proceed in full on both. And to do so, we need $418,000 to fund both of these projects. We talked about funding some of it from our existing road program capital account. But when we discussed it at our finance meeting this morning, the CFO suggested that we should bond for both projects and fund the road program capital account at a reduced amount for 2026. And this is what the Finance Committee is recommending. So with the Council's approval, I would have our bond attorney prepare the ordinances for introduction at our public meeting in January. Any questions?
Everyone okay with that? So we'll do a little bit less in the road program and basically put it towards this, since we have projects on the table with grant money attached to it. And it's a lot of streets.
Yes.
Okay. So that's 1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay, so item number 3 is schedule updates. Okay, we are at the end of the year, so the only thing I have is that the New Milford Fire Department's officer swearing-in ceremony will be held on January 3rd at 1 p.m. at New Milford Firehouse Company 2, located on Trenton Street. Does anyone have any of the schedule updates I failed to mention or would like to add? And as everyone knows, Santa's mailbox is open until midnight on December 24th, so get your letters in. And Officer Haneke will pay the postage, so just no postage necessary. Item number 4 is the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Engineering update. We had 2 NJ DOT road programs that we recently completed in October for the first Rosalind, Monroe, and Marion, and the second one was for Clinton, Linwood, Maple, and Roosevelt. The DOT conducted their inspection in November, and the engineer responded to the DOT's comments on December 5th. The engineer has prepared a mid-project punch list for the contractor to complete on the Main Street Improvement Project. We've had a few little hiccups that we're trying to make sure get corrected before we move forward. As you can tell by the state of our hallway, the ADA renovation of our 2 bathrooms on the first floor of the Borough Hall is continuing to progress, and we're waiting on some information on the deliveries for some materials. On that will determine the completion date. But I have a drop-dead date from Community Development that I'm going to meet. So the contractors mobilized and begun work for the first phase of the French Brook Restoration Project, and the engineer is preparing a minor technical modification application for submission to the DEP to extend the project limits. That's it for engineering. The Borough Halls, we've got a few early closings with the upcoming holiday. On Wednesday, December 24th, and Wednesday, December 31st, the Borough Hall will be closing at 1 p.m. and will be closed for a full day on Thursday and Friday, December 25th and 26th, in observance of Christmas, and of course, January 1st for New Year's Day. And the next meeting of the Mayor and Council is our annual reorganization meeting. I can't even believe that we're here again. Scheduled for Monday, January 5th at 7 p.m. That's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Reorg coming up. It's always an exciting one. Has everyone had a chance to look at the resolutions? Are there any that need to be pulled for further discussion and or vote? Okay, if not, we are going to do some quick council committee reports. We're going to start with Councilman Seymour.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be brief. The only update I have is that our Flood Mitigation Advisory Committee has their final meeting of the year tonight.
Upstairs.
Yes, and are eagerly looking forward to starting in 2026. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Brodsky.
Thank you, Mayor. Since we were having a discussion with the police today, I've come up with some numbers supplied to me by the police chief, which I find to be quite interesting, so I'll share it with the rest of the council. Through December 12th, there were 18,064 calls answered by the police department. In 2024, there were 16,807 calls. Back in 2019, there were only 9,414 calls. This is almost double from 2019 to 2025. Our boys in blue are extremely busy. Okay, some of the increases are in arrests. Arrests from January 1st through December this year through 2024 are up 53%. Burglaries up 35%. Domestic violence is up 16%. What did go down, believe it or not, is shoplifting, 29%. But I attribute that because ShopRite is very, very, how shall I say, up on watching on who is walking at the store, and they are pressing charges. So the big thing, though, I want to point out is in 6 years, we've practically doubled from 9,400 to 18,000 police calls. So that is a tremendous amount of money, a tremendous amount of calls. And I thank the PD for all their efforts. They've done a fantastic job. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, when you hear numbers like that, I'm sure there's multiple factors that go into that. I think one of the things that causes more calls is through our community policing, people are more comfortable calling the police on things. Previously, there are lots of stuff that goes without people being called, going, unreported. So I hope that's a good part of the spike that we're seeing. It's people are actually calling instead of just standing there with their phones watching something happen. So,
Mayor, to your point, increased awareness increases calls.
Yeah.
That can be a good thing.
Absolutely. Council President Duffy.
Thanks, Mayor. I do want to report from the Board of Health and our health officer from Mid-Bergen Regional Health Commission that it is flu season right now, so everyone beware and be well. Also, we're hearing an uptick in measles cases, and the question does always come up. Those of us that were, vaccinated when we in the 50s and 60s, yes, your vaccine is still in order, and you will be fine.
There's a small window in the late 60s that you should have it checked.
Yes, one of my brothers had to do that. That's true. Also, I just want to mention a few of the programs that they've been doing around town. There's a strong and steady low-impact fitness class. This was October and November at the Senior Center. Berkeley and Kids School both hosted hygiene lessons from the Board of Health. And upcoming in February, the Owens Middle School program of smoking cessation, which means quitting smoking, and vaping, because I know the mayor had mentioned to me he was concerned about that, and that is something that will be covered in this program, and they're looking to expand it throughout the rest of the schools. So I also want to congratulate our Historic Commission for a successful year, and we're on to the 250th celebration in 2026. So congratulations to them. And more recently, I just want to thank the DPW for the fall and the holiday decor. The Borough Hall is beautiful, as well as the Borough front lawn and around town. So thank you so much for that effort, and also to the Milford Fire Department for bringing Santa to our tree lighting ceremony. So that was a great night. So just everybody, happy holidays. That's my report.
Thank you. Councilman Zahner.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mrs. Claus.
My pleasure.
Well, the planning board, I don't really have any updates on that, except for I want to congratulate and thank the members of the planning board who were just upgraded from their alternates to a Class 4 position with the planning board. Public events just had their large month of December with their 3 main events, and they did an outstanding job, along with help from the DPW. They don't have a lot all year long, but when they do come out, they do a great job. DPW, once again, excellent job with the last recent 1 to 3 we had that turned out to be 5 to 6 maybe. Did a great job. They're out all day long. Roads were great. They did a wonderful job in getting rid of the leaves. I got to tell you, just on my block alone, I put them out one day and it seems like the next day they were gone. And I do remember in the past where they could be out there for a long time pushing them with the snow. So they're doing an excellent job. Recreation, the only update I have on recreation is I know at some point, I think it's next week, they're going to start interviewing some candidates for coaches for softball. And that concludes my reports. Everybody happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and God bless for a happy, wonderful, safe New Year.
Thank you. Councilwoman Sanders.
Thank you. The holiday events were all really, really nice. So thank you for your committee for public events. They were great events. The Green Team and the Environmental Commission, I just want to acknowledge the hard work that the volunteers do all year long. I don't have a big report for December because they take some time off, but they are continuing to work on their grants. The TREX program continues rolling along, and we're still always looking for volunteers to help out with that. And if people want information about the Home Energy Assessment Program, that's available on the borough website underneath the Green Team. Please check into that. It's worth doing some research to find, to see if there are rebates and incentives that match your needs. And the Environmental Commission thanks the Mayor and Council for approving their ability to work with a consultant for the Community Energy Planning Grant. They will be having a meeting tomorrow to continue work on that program. So the committees are always doing great work, and we appreciate everything they do and the council and the mayor's support. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, all of our holiday events were outstanding. Good turnout.
Great attendance.
Everything went smooth, and I'd really like to thank the Public Events Committee and Darlene Mickle. She really, handles 3 major events in 1 month, back to back to back, which is pretty amazing.
And the one was particularly
Yeah, the nativity lighting and the menorah lighting, you saw your breath outside. It was pretty cool. The only other thing I would say is just a reminder to keep on checking the Historic Newbridge Landing website, as they have events all holiday season. So pretty cool events going on over there. Okay. I would ask for a motion to open to the public.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any questions or comments regarding the good and welfare of the Borough of Milford, we invite you to come forward, and we will give you 5 minutes. Seeing that no member of the public wishes to come forward at this time, I would ask for a motion to close the public.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I get a motion to adopt Resolution 2025:262 to 2025:276?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, we will be going into closed session. When we come out of closed session, this governing body will take no action, and we will immediately adjourn. So before I ask for that, I'm going to just say once again, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, have a happy and healthy New Year, and we look forward to a stronger New Milford in 2026. Thank you. May I get a motion to go into to go into close?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
All right, now, I'm going to...
Yeah, exactly. Yes,